So hey guys, welcome back. If you don't know, this is part 2 to my spoiler review of It. So if you haven't seen my first review, I highly suggest that you go back. It's titled It Spoiler Review Part 1, 2017 Part 1. Because I had a lot of thoughts on this movie, and I could only record like 50 or so minutes at a time, and I thought that this part right here deserved its own section or its own video per se, because there are just so many things to talk about. I had to, even in my first spoiler review, I had to rush through the ending of the movie, which I thought really sucked because I love a lot of parts about this movie. This movie is just so amazing and great. So if you haven't seen my first spoiler review or you haven't watched the movie, I would go suggest watching the movie because this production company deserves so much more than it's getting. Like, it's already at $103 million for opening weekend, which all these box office movie hits, like, that's a dream number. It's, like, something you wish it could obtain, and it's even surpassed Deadpool in its opening weekend for a rated R movie. Like, it's past Deadpool. It's, like, way past Deadpool at this moment. And that's an accomplishment in and itself because Deadpool was a very high grossing movie for 2016, and 2017 it's it, which is great. I'm loving the fact that horror movies are making a comeback. Like, we had 4 or 5 years of a shitty horror movie phase where no horror movie was good enough for me, so I stopped watching them. And then I heard It was coming, and well, I was hesitant to go watch it because, horror movies haven't been that great. This is very well done, very well shot, deserves all the recognition it deserves, and with that, I'm putting a huge spoiler warning on this video also. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it because it's amazing. Definitely worth the hype, definitely worth their 89% on Rotten Tomatoes, and we all know Rotten Tomatoes is very, very picky. Like, most of the movies I like or my husband likes, which we think are generally great, get within 60 to 70%. Even Academy Award-winning movies get 60 to 70% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's just, they're very hard to please, and with the fact that this movie got 89%, it's gotta be fantastic if Rotten Tomatoes can't even be picky with it. So go watch it. It's amazing. Definitely worth the $9 to $10 you're probably gonna spend watching it. Definitely worth the $18 I'm gonna spend watching it again, because I'm definitely planning on watching this in theaters again because I have friends that want to go watch it. I got a whole slew of friends that want to go watch it. And the first time, I really wanted it to be experience for me and my husband. So in this part, I'm definitely gonna comment more on my personal experience while watching the movie It, because it wasn't just a movie for me. It was more of an experience than actually just going to a theater and watching a movie like you do all the time. But this was more than watching a movie. This was me being in a room full of strangers and feeling like they weren't strangers anymore because we all had this collective fear of what was on screen. And it was totally amazing. And I loved it so much. And it was hilarious. There was a lot of commentary, which I know a lot of people hate it when people can't be silent in movie theaters. But with me, it's not really a huge problem for me. No, I guess it's just because I'm more tolerant on scary movies because, when you get scared, you gotta talk it out. Sometimes I'm one of those talkers of, I could be silent in a movie theater during scary movies. That's not really a huge problem for me. But there are sometimes when I want to go, oh my god, oh fuck that, and while I wasn't as loud as some of the people I was with, as of my row and in my front row, I definitely had 1 or 2 scenes when I'm just over here but me and my husband exchanged knowing smiles because he's read the book and watched the miniseries. I've only watched the miniseries and I'm in what page 116 of this hunking novel right here. This is definitely one of my goals for the year is to read the rest of this book. Like, it's definitely on my goals, guys. I mean, just look how huge this is, though. Like, this book is more intimidating than the movie is. Like, yeah, so much source material. And with that being said, let's get back into where I was at in my spoiler review, which I want to start with the ending because I felt like the ending to my last video was a little bit rushed because I was trying to rush it to fit the time, which it just wasn't happening, which is why I had to make a part 2 to this. So the ending, I liked the ending. Like, we're going to talk about that house scene in a minute because the house scene was amazing. But the ending to it was just, like, it was a little flat for me. Especially that Ben and Beverly kiss scene. Like I said in my first video, I wasn't really a huge fan of the breaking the deadlight curse with a kiss. It was just, like, it was so cliche as F. And I was just all like, okay. I just, like, at that part, I totally turned to my husband and said that was, like, legitimately cliche. And this movie didn't do cliche a lot, which this scene really surprised me because it was totally cliche. Take a shot every time Sarah says cliche. Guys. But yeah, it was more kind of like, okay, so we're going this to break the deadlight curse, which is very weird in my opinion, but you know, it's their movie, they can do what they want. I'm gonna take drinks of my Coke here because I'm like thirsty from talking so much. Okay, so we have that ending, and with Bill Skarsgård, whenever he talks, it's actually very creepy. I like the different vocal ranges he does with his voice because he could be happy one moment and have that very low, unsettling voice that's very threatening at the same time. I don't even know how he could do that. I was majorly impressed with Bill Skarsgård's vocal range for this. So I think it was done very well. But I want to talk about the ending to it, which is very interesting. Like, you got the whole... Let's talk about the final showdown first, because the final showdown, while we have this amazing movie that I just had, like, major ups, that was a problem for me, because when you have major ups, and you throw out all your scares within, like, the first 2 hours of the movie, I think the last half lacks a little bit. Like, it's still great. It's still good. It's still up there with my favorite horror movies, but the final showdown, I liked the beginning scene before they started beating Pennywise up. Whenever they're beating on Pennywise at first, and then he grabs a hold of Bill, like, he has Bill in, like, this whole headlock thing, and of course he's a killer clown, so he could, like, kill you in 2.5 seconds. And this is where Pennywise generally becomes a monster for me. Because, oh my god, like, what sets him off to morph into Pennywise at first is totally terrifying. I don't even know where to begin in this whole ending thing. So we'll talk about the final showdown. Let's talk about the whole Georgie scene first. Like, before they have the final showdown with Pennywise. Like I said, my heart dropped during this scene because you have this final interaction between Bill and Georgie. Like, Pennywise is Georgie. And him crying that, Bill, you found me. What took you so long? I want to go home. Like, that whole sad kid thing. And he's trying to lure Bill into thinking his brother is alive, which is generally fucked up. But like I said before, Pennywise is a fucked up person. Or entity, whatever you want to call him. So, he pretends to be Georgie, and Bill's all like, I'm sorry this happened to you. You didn't deserve it. I miss you every single day. And I wish this didn't happen to you. But you're not real. And he takes the gun, and actually very shocked that they did this because most movies tend to stray away from violence towards children. But like I said, this movie didn't hold back with that. But that they have this scene where Bill's like, but you're not real, and he shoots Georgie in the head. Pennywise is Georgie in the head, and for the first couple of seconds, you don't think that it's Pennywise because it fakes you out for like 2 minutes of the movie, like where you just see Georgie laying there and he's dead, and you think for a split second, with tears rushing down your eyes, that Bill really did kill his brother, because, that's fucked up, and Pennywise would do that, he would. It would, and then Pennywise fakes you out, and he morphs back into Pennywise, and then Bill has the gun up to Pennywise's head, ready to shoot, and then you suddenly remember that Mike has dropped his bullets, and the only bullet that they had was what Bill used to shoot Pennywise's Georgie. So Bill is just like literally holding this empty gun to Pennywise's forehead, and Pennywise is just looking at him like, go ahead, do it. So he pulls the trigger, and of course the acid that's in the gun, starts deteriorating Pennywise's head. And one thing I like about Pennywise is that he's like a final raid boss. It's kind of like, if he gets injured, things just stick to him, and he keeps on morphing back, and it's like almost impossible to kill this motherfucker at the moment. But then this scene great because Pennywise keeps morphing into different things that they're terrified of. There's this scene where he and of course when they're fighting, it grabs Bill by the head, and he tries to strike this deal with the rest of the Losers Club, saying, all I want is this boy right here. Give me Bill, and I'll let the rest of you live out your lives free. I'll go away until for the next 27 years, when I'm ready to do all this again, and I won't terrify you guys. I'll stay away from you guys, I promise. Just let me keep Bill, and the rest of you can live out your long and happy lives until death takes you. Is ready to take you from old age. I'll leave you alone. You won't have to worry about me. Just let me do what I've been doing. And he makes tries to strike this deal, and this is where the manipulative part of Pennywise comes in, where I'm just like, oh my fucking god, did he really just do that? He uses bargaining in this, and it wouldn't be something you think Pennywise would do, but it's, like I said, this Pennywise is a different kind of monster, and that was very monstrous of him to do. And then for a second, this movie fakes you out a lot, I must say. So for a moment or two, Pennywise is holding on to Bill, and then Richie steps up, and he's like, hey, he's right, we should totally do what he says. What he says, because Bill has been the source of this. And Bill's like, you're right, you guys should just leave me, let him kill me if it means you guys are safe. I'll take the fall he could kill me. And Richie's like, yeah, you're right, we should let him kill you. What have you done? You've lowered us into this sewer with this stupid clown thing. You almost got me killed. You almost got everyone else killed. You're a horrible person. And then his last scene, which is really great, which I really loved, was, and now because of you, I gotta kill this motherfucking clown. And then everyone, gangs up on Pennywise, gets every weapon they could possibly imagine to face their fears and try to kill Pennywise. And this is where this really became more of a video game-esque thing for me. Because it's like defeating the final raid boss, and it was awesome to me, honestly. I think my favorite part of that is whenever he turns to Beverly, and Beverly's not scared of Pennywise, because there's a scene where Beverly looks up at Pennywise after he's captured her and says, I'm not afraid of you. And then he's all like, you will be. And then he turns into her father. And I think the only thing that Beverly is terrified of is her father, because, you know, why wouldn't you be terrified of your father at that point? For Beverly? So, like, my favorite part of that whole thing was whenever Pennywise is like, hey, Bevy, are you still my little aunt? And Beverly shoves, like, I think it's a spear thing, straight down into Pennywise's throat before he can finish the sentence. And I'm all like, yes! Thank God for Beverly. I love her so much. I was like, woo! Good job, girl. And then, of course, they keep on, like, hitting Pennywise, showing them that they're not afraid anymore. And you see Pennywise starting to falter, because that's what he feeds off of. He feeds off fear, and whenever a group of kids aren't afraid of him anymore, he doesn't have that fear to feed off of. He doesn't have the energy to feed them anymore. And then you see him shrivel, and he looks defeated, and he's literally falling apart. And then he's crawling back into the sewers because he has to go back into hibernation. He's not strong enough anymore. He has to go to sleep because he feels defeated. In the final scene, wherever Bill is about to kill Pennywise and deliver the final blow to him, Pennywise starts singing this song, or doing the saying that Bill and Georgie used to do, which distracts Bill enough to where Pennywise can get away by using the tunnels. And of course, you can't do anything about it. So Pennywise looks like he's gone, and then the ending has all the Losers Club making a blood pact together. Like, promise me that if it ever comes back, that we'll come back here and we won't face it alone, we'll face it together, because we're stronger together than what we are alone, than when we're alone with this creature. And everyone makes a blood pact. But you know Stan is a shady little bitch whenever he looks at Bill straight in the face and goes, I hate you. Even if he looks like he's kidding, you know he's probably not kidding. You know Stan probably does hate Bill for taking him out of his whole lifestyle and throwing him into this really shitty situation. But they're all in this shitty situation. So I'm very, it's like I can't spoil the rest of the series because, you know, it's like this is a two-parter. And they all separate, Bill and Ben waiting at each other to see who gets final moments of Beverly. And of course, we already have a lot of Ben and Beverly scenes, as well as Bill and Beverly, because they weigh each other out. And then Ben finally gives, and he says bye to Beverly. And then Beverly, it's shown that she's moving to another city because Beverly kicking her dad's ass earlier, which we'll talk about because it's one of my favorite, genuinely terrifying scenes. And then they have this thing where Beverly's about to go, and Bill says wait, and he kisses her, which, you know, another cliche moment, but we gotta have some cliche moments in this, I guess. And it's just, and that's how it ends with, you know, her going off. They don't even have a scary scene, it just ends that way. To where you don't know if there'll be a sequel or not. Like, I think the most fantastic part of it is the fact that when it starts, it doesn't have a part 1 attached to it. No one in the audience knows that there's going to be a part 2, unless you've seen the miniseries, which you know there's a part 2. Or you've read this, like, huge hunger of a book right here, and you know that the adult perspective is in this one as well. And then at the last part you see it, part 1. They wait until it has it, and then it fades and says part 1, end of part 1, and I'm like, yes, there's definitely gonna be part 2 because Of course, it rained in a lot of money. Of course, there's gonna be a part two. But before I get to my favorite scenes and generally terrifying moments in this one, I gotta say that the adult casting for this has to be on point. What I want them to do is it seems like getting unknown or less known actors to do these roles is actually working out for Hollywood better because they don't have a very big standing. Like, they don't have a very big character to go off of. Like, it's like, oh, I like him in this, but I like him more in this. Like, they don't have that for unknowns. And this is where casting unknowns for major roles really gets good, because like Riverdale, like there's a lot of unknowns in Riverdale, and it works out fantastically because you have nothing to compare them to. Like, you have their small roles that they've done, but it doesn't really show you what they could do. And they, like, I think for minor actors that haven't had their shot yet, they have a lot more to prove, unlike major actors who don't have a lot to prove because you've seen what they could do. You know what they could do. So whenever they don't do the job that you want them to do, it's more disappointing than if you get a minor actor that hasn't become, like, an unknown actor that hasn't had a famous role yet, and they have a lot to prove. The major actors don't really have a lot to prove because they've already proved to you that they can act. So I think for these casting choices, it'd be a lot smarter to go of unknown actors, so they could show us what they could do, and we won't be disappointed if they don't do as great of a job as we thought. So I have faith in this casting. Like they did great on casting the unknowns for the kids. So they really got a step up their game for the adults. I think it'll take away from the movie if they cast well-known actors, especially since I've heard that the director doesn't really want to spend a lot of money on the actors for the next movie. So I think casting unknowns would be a perfect choice for this guy if he really wants to go that route, like not shelling out a lot of money for the sequel as he did in this one. So get unknown actors. Show them that they have a lot to prove. And hopefully we don't have to wait 27 years for the sequel to pop out. So, next I got my favorite scenes, which my number one is definitely gotta be the basement projector scene. Oh my god, that one. Actually, I think that's actually further down on the list. Oh yeah, the garage. Okay, the basement scene is a different scene. So Bill is asleep at night, and he hears this noise, and he goes down to the kitchen, and you see Georgie just run past him, and then you have the scene where he meets Georgie in the cellar, which Georgie used to be terrified of the cellar, like he thought there was this monster in the cellar, so that was a very twisted thing Pennywise did, because using something that Georgie was afraid of to make Bill more terrified of going down there. Like, Bill should have known that that wasn't Georgie from the moment he set foot down in the cellar, because he should know that his brother was terrified of that thing, so why would he want to willingly go down to the cellar? So you have Georgie, and you have the whole you'll float too thing, and then you just see Pennywise's head pop up out of the water, and then it's kind of like this ventriloquist thing, wherever Georgie is deteriorating, he's rotting from the inside out flesh, by saying you'll float too, and it's like morphed the more he says it, and then Pennywise just like does that shaky thing where he's like running towards Bill, and Bill runs the fuck away, which is the smartest decision that's ever made in this movie. And oh my god, that was like, oh, that was a great scene. I just loved it. Oh, the next scene I have is a projector / garage scene. Garage scene. This is probably one of the most terrifying parts of this movie. Movie is that whole garage scene where Ben has his projector and he's projecting the map of Derry, and showing that all the sewers are connected to this one house where it lives where it resides, and they all decide that they're gonna probably go to this house, and then of course Edie rips off the map. It's either Edie or Stan, one of those two, rips off the map, and then the projector starts going crazy, like operating on its own. Then you see Georgie and family pictures of Bill and Georgie and their mom, and then their mom, you have their mom, and her hair is like right here across her face, and the more the projector things, the more it unreveals Pennywise, and you don't see this coming. Like, you think they're gonna turn it off before Pennywise pops up, but no, you think it's over then. Nope, Pennywise pops out of the fucking projector, getting bigger and bigger and more terrifying, trying to eat these kids, and then finally, Ben has a smart idea of pulling up the fucking garage door and letting the light in. So Pennywise doesn't have that projector anymore, because projectors need darkness to actually project things well. Well, like, if you ever seen projectors, they work better in the dark. In the dark, of course, but that scene was generally terrifying. I'm just like, nope, a whole lot of fuck no, nope. And then you got, the library scene, which, oh god, this was the first genuinely scary scene. Like, yeah, we have a few scary scenes before that, but oh my god, the library scene, man, wherever Ben is in the catacomb, I don't even know how you say it, but the reference section, like down there where they have all the files and stuff for the library, because he's lured in there by Easter eggs. I don't know, if I ever saw Easter eggs and nothing attached to them, I wouldn't follow them. Why was that even a decision? Why didn't he ask the librarian about it? Like, hey, where are these Easter eggs for? You know, it's just, I know kids don't use a lot of common sense because they're kids and they still haven't developed a lot of common sense yet, but oh my god, that was one of those moments like, why would you do that? So, of course the lights start to flicker, and then you have this man, but this man, he's headless, and that was the first terrifying moment, like, oh my god, this, like, actually got real fast. So he, starts getting chased by this zombie-like thing, and of course, it's like, hey, fat boy, and he turns back around, and it's Pennywise, and Pennywise is now chasing him, and oh my god, it was a great scene. And then you have the clown room scene where Richie goes into the clown room, which is a part of the house scene, which I will talk about because the house scene is definitely one of my favorite scenes. But then you got, you know, the clown room where Richie goes into the clown room and he's separated from Bill, and he's in a room full of clowns, and then he's looking around at all the clowns going, oh, this is so fucking creepy. He opens up a grave, and he's got, like, a doll of him with his mouth sewn shut, and then he, like, does that, like, throws down the lid, and of course Pennywise pops up from out of the lid and chases Richie, and then he finally gets the door open, and Bill and Richie slam the door on Pennywise, and then we have this whole scene. Well, we'll discuss the whole scene in a minute, but then we got my other scene, which is the bathroom full of blood scene. I thought that was very well done, showing that adults can't see what it's doing. Like, you have this scene where Beverly is in her bathroom, which, you know, you have a lot of scenes with Beverly in her bathroom. I'm talking about the first one, wherever she's all like, she hears all the dead kids and going like, help us, Beverly. So she sticks a little measuring thing down in the thing, and it comes back with blood, and then there's this thing that shoots up at her, I think it's hair or something, and tries to drag her down into the sink. And then she gets a face full of blood. And then all her bathroom is covered in blood. And then she screams for her dad, and her dad can't see the blood because most adults aren't aware of what's happening in Derry because of some curse or something. But oh my god, it's just, that was well done. And then we have that whole Mona Lisa type deal. I call her the twisted Mona Lisa because she has that black hair and that face that's a little off. Like one part of her face right here, the other one like right there. And she was terrifying. Like when she was chewing on Stan, it was just, oh, that's gross. Gross, I hate her so much. And then the lemur, the lemur is kind of like a walking infection, and he was pretty gross too. And then after lemur terrifies Eddie, he has to deal with Pennywise, and Pennywise is like, And it was just like a whole lot of nope in one scene. And then one of my not favorite parts, like my favorite parts that's not scary, is the rock fight scene. When Henry Bowers is trying to kill Mike because he's like the hugest racist ever, and then they start a rock fight with him. Like, I think one of the most golden parts is like rock fight, and then they start throwing rocks at each other. But I have to agree with like one of the reviewers I watched for this one, in the fact that how did these kids not get an infection with how many cuts and scrapes they got? Like, that rock fight would have caused someone a concussion. Especially Richie whenever he yells rock fight and then someone throws a rock straight to his head. You know that would result in a concussion. Those are tiny little pebbles. Those are like huge ass rocks. And then at that house scene, which we'll talk about in a minute, when Ben gets cut by Pennywise, like the claws turn into a spider and stuff, and he slashes it across his that's weird. But then he slashes it across his stomach. How did Ben's stomach not get like a whole slew of infection is what I want to know. I know people, like, kids are resilient and all that, but my god, how did that not result in an infection? Like, the only one that seems to get hurt in this is Edie with his broken arm, and that's it. Like, how did that not... How did Ben not get an infection was my question. But yeah, that rock fight was pretty great. Especially whenever they keep beating Henry Bowers of rocks. I liked that. And then, we'll talk about my two favorite scenes, all my favorite scenes. The next one we have is the Beverly kicking her dad's ass scene. Because it's really well done. Because, of course, you're so distracted by Beverly finally getting revenge on her dad for sexually assaulting her for God knows how many years, and then you can't tell about what's about to happen next because you're so distracted with the fact that this guy finally got his comeuppance that you totally forget that there's an evil entity after all these people. So when Beverly does get kidnapped by Pennywise, you're so distracted by the fact that she finally defeats her dad, that you don't even know that when Beverly turns around, she's gonna get captured by Pennywise. So that scene's really well done. You have this scene where Beverly is about to get sexually assaulted by her dad, and then she takes her leg, swings it up, and hits him in the nuts, runs all the way to the bathroom, locks the door. Her dad, busts in the bathroom door, looks around. Beverly is, I don't know what she used, but it was great. Beverly, takes whatever she has and slams it against her father's head, causing him to get knocked the fuck out. My husband's like, yeah, he's dead. And I'm like, oh, I don't think he's dead. I think he got knocked out pretty hard. So she turns to go out of the room, and then Pennywise just grabs her by the throat. And that's when all of the theater screamed, because you're so satisfied by the fact that Beverly is just being her dad that you don't know what's coming next. You don't know that Pennywise is about to grab her. And I think that's one part where the trailer faltered, is the fact that I already knew that was coming. I remembered that dress from the trailer. I knew that she was about to get taken, because I'm like, just wait. It's probably Pennywise is gonna capture her at this moment because of the trailer. And that's one thing where the trailer faltered, is the fact that I totally knew what was coming next, that she was about to get captured, because she gets captured at some point by Pennywise due to the trailer. And I think that's one fault of the trailer, is that they showed that scene. So next, and lastly, I'm going to talk about the house, because the house scene was great, because this is where the group splits off. Like, have them stay outside, which I don't even know why Beverly stayed outside, because she was one of the first ones to volunteer to go inside the house. But you got Richie, you got Eddie, and you got Bill. They all go into this creepy house that's haunted, where Pennywise resides, and then they go upstairs, and you see half of the body of this one girl that's been missing, and I can't remember her name, so forgive me. So they see her half-mutilated body by saying, "Help me," and she gets dragged. So Bill and Richie go into a separate room. Edie is distracted because he hears the lemur going, "What are you doing?" or something like that. So he's distracted by the lemur, and they totally get separated, and of course the lemur goes after Eddie falls through the hole in the floor that Pennywise has made, and he breaks his arm, which, great visual effect right there, because it actually did look like a broken arm. And I'm like, ooh, how could he even survive that fall? But he has a broken arm, and I'm like, he's gotta have something broken, because he can't survive that fall without having something broken. I'm sorry, it just doesn't happen. So he smashes through a table, breaks his arm, and then we get back to Bill and Richie, and I don't know what distracts Bill, but something distracts Bill, and Richie goes into the clown room because Pennywise finds it easier to terrify them when they're alone. So, of course, I already talked about the clown scene. Richie goes into this room with a bunch of clowns, and it's amazing. That scene's really well done, I personally think. And then, I don't know what Bill's doing during the scene. I think it's like, there's this one body, and it's shaking, and all the blood and stuff, and it gets sucked out of the mattress. It's a very Nightmare on Elm Street for me. You can tell that they have homages to a lot of great horror movies in this, including Nightmare on Elm Street, of course, and, like, they even have homages to Psycho, because the mother part was very Norma Bates for me, honestly. But, so they have that scene, and then they run, and and then there's 3 different doors they could go through. It's scary, not scary, very scary, and of course, like, my thinking skills would be like, okay, obviously he's fucking with us, with a not very scary door, because, you know, of course, why wouldn't you fuck him a little bit? It's gonna be the scary one. Like, I knew straight away that it was gonna be scary, because I knew Pennywise was just playing a joke on them, probably. So I opened the not very scary door, and then there's this girl, and she's cut in half right there, and they close the door, and then Bill's all like, I think this is the best part, because, we go back down to Edie, while Bill and Richie are trying to figure out this door situation, and Pennywise is, like, he does this, like, thing where, I think it's a contortionist thing where all his bones are, like, separated or something, and he's kind of like this, this with his legs and stuff, and he goes, like, he separates his body and twists his body by to where he's back to Pennywise, and I'm like, oh my god, that was, like, generally, like, a oh fuck no moment for me. Because contortionism is, like, oh, how could people move their body that way? So we have the contortionist scene, and then he goes towards Edie, and then he hears Bill from upstairs going like, just remember, it's not real. He can't scare us because he's not real. He's a figment of our imagination. Just remember, he can't really do anything to us. And Pennywise, the very first characteristic we have Pennywise, besides being the scary monster, he does go, like, side eyes, turns it, like, he has his hand over Eddie at that point, and then turns to Bill's voice and gets pissed off. Because Bill and Edie have escaped his whole trick thing, and of course he has to feed off fear, so if kids don't fear him, he gets really mad, and you can see him unravel because of the kids not being scared of him. He gets more demented because he's trying harder to scare them. So he turns his head and he's like, oh, it's not scary enough for you, Bill, yet? You don't appreciate my performance? It's like, how is this? And then he, like, starts forming into different forms. And I think somewhere during this scene, Beverly comes in, and she spears Pennywise through the head with a spear, which is a great part. But you think Pennywise is dead? Nope, he moves with this thing. Even though he's been mutilated, he moves with it, and he's fighting the Losers Club again, and then he turns into this, like, he have these werewolf things, which is an homage to the original, because Richie is terrified of werewolves, but they don't really say it in this one. And then he slashes his werewolf things, he gets bent, and in that moment my heart just dropped, because of course one of my precious babies have just got hurt, and I'm like, oh, no, and I'm like, I hope Ben is okay. Okay, and I don't know what they do to defeat Pennywise at that point, but I think he just crawls away and stuff, and that scene, like, that whole house scene is very well done. And this movie is very well done. And I think I actually covered all the parts, guys. Wow. I am so sorry this review is so long, but I just had to talk about it. I just have to. Guys, it's amazing. Go out and watch it again if you watched it. It's just really amazing. Like, I'll close on this one little thing is the fact that I love this movie to death. Not only because the movie was great, 10 out of 10 stars, but because the experience itself. Like, I no longer felt like I was in a room full of strangers. I was comfortable, and we all found comfort in the fact that we were all terrified of this movie. And you know that's when a horror movie has done its job. When they can make total strangers come together and act like friends, because we're all generally terrified in that theater. We were all turning each other, we were all laughing, cracking jokes. It was amazing. I would definitely suggest going to theaters to watch this. Because it's definitely more atmospheric in the movie theater to go watch it, because you got all the booms, you got all the people getting scared. It was a great movie. And like one of my reviewers said, it's definitely going to be a classic horror movie, because this horror movie has redefined this genre, honestly. And I really hope that other horror movies take note from this horror movie, because, like a lot of people say, Stephen King does horror very well. And this guy, who's only the director of Mama, by the way, he's directed a few things, but he hasn't directed a lot of horror movies. I think the only horror movie he's got is Mama. But for a guy who took probably one of the most boring horror movies I've ever seen, which was Mama, and have him direct this, It was just amazing. Like, everyone in this was amazing, and I applaud everyone that worked on this movie. They were really great. No one flattered for me. Everyone did a fantastic job. And this is why this movie deserves a 10 out of 10. 10. I think a lot of people are just being picky because it's not Tim Curry's Pennywise, but it's not gonna be Tim Curry's Pennywise. Just like this is not gonna be the TV series, like the miniseries. It's not gonna be that. So going into the second one, just keep an open mind that they're gonna do things differently because they have to. Because everyone's gonna find a reason to complain about it. If they follow so closely to the miniseries, they're just gonna be like, oh, it's just a ripoff of the miniseries, and why should we watch it? Well, in another note, if they do something completely different like they did with that one, they're gonna criticize it because it's not the original. Which really irks me because no one is ever truly satisfied with a movie. Like, this could be the most badass movie alive, which, in my opinion, it is. It is. And someone would still find something wrong with it. So, keeping an open mind that it's not going to be like the miniseries, and you should totally be okay. So, there you guys have it. That was my review for it. It was a long one, but definitely got my mind off things. And you guys know, comment down below, let me know if you like the fact that I do movie reviews, because I would definitely love to do a movie review on other ones, but I did a movie review for it because it was my most anticipated release of the year, and it definitely didn't disappoint. This and Wonder Woman and Beauty and the Beast are definitely gonna fight for and even Baby Driver, are definitely gonna fight for my top movie of the year. Which I'll definitely do a top movie because, I've been watching more movies than I have been reading books. So stay tuned for that at the end of the year. And there you guys have it. I will probably come back to you with another movie review whenever Justice League hits. It's because that's my next big group thing. But until then, I will see you guys in my next video.